Joining me on the set is my good friend, Mr. Errol Fabien. Pleasure having you here, Errol.
That's right. It's good to be here, Mikey.
Yes, indeed.
A surprise, but
well, a surprise. I had to get you here because the file wasn't missing, and that's a job, and you want to be careful. Promoter said to my good friend here, after so many years of doing shows and in and out of the season, no anti-government jokes.
No.
I mean, no
anti-PNM.
No anti-PNM jokes. Yeah. All right, so. That didn't go down well with you.
Well, I can't say it didn't go down well. I have to say, Mikey, I respect that if I spend my money, I supposed to be able to say what I want for my money.
Of course.
That is fair enough. And the man remains an employer of mine because he will give me work again, I imagine. And we've developed a relationship over the years. What has saddened me, Mikey K, is that politics has creeped into every aspect of our lives. I'm not talking about party politics alone. In church politics, in school politics, in our community groups politics. I belong to a past students association.
Yeah.
And the time was up for the particular executive, and a new executive was coming in. And Mikey K, the kind of campaigning I saw, and the kind of aggression and thing. And it's to come to do the same job you say we all want to do to help out the school,
right,
Right. So it saddened me greatly that politics reached to where it is in every aspect of our lives.
Yeah, last week I spoke to Rudolph Utley, Dr. Rudolph Utley, of course, and he is the manager of the
Cabaret.
Cabaret.
Divas Cabaret.
Yeah, and I worked with him on frequencies before, and he's like a Calypso historian.
Yes.
And he had to backtrack. I think he had some sort of show on Zoom. They had something, and apparently some statements was made, and the reporter did write that he said that soon there'll be no more as far as Calypso 10. So he had to back immediately, and I think there was a sense of reality is that, listen, you got to understand the hand that's feeding you. I mean, but that in itself, why would you want to have someone functioning with this sword of Damascus hanging over their head that, if you want something, you're relying on me, but you have to play the tune that I call, or dance to the tune that I call.
But like I say, I think it's fair people spending their money, but in the context of the creative arts, it's like committing suicide. Because this arts is a civilizing agent.
Right.
And if you want to dictate what the content of art is, when in fact all art does is reflect the society to the society itself.
It's not one-dimensional.
No.
It can never be one-dimensional. So how do you now want to govern comedic expression?
Yeah. And especially if you are the government. The party has formed the government, all right? So now, as far as I'm concerned, I don't look at you as the PNM anymore. I look at you as the executive of the state.
Right.
And you can't be so small because you are the executive on my own behalf too, it's on everybody's behalf.
Right.
So you can't be so small-minded. And I will tell you the truth, Mikey K. It happens to saying we just say, Jesus is not the problem, it's the fanatics. And I suspect it's the people who are around the trough feeding who figure they have to behave like this towards people. And there's no need for that. I in my career, Chambers was in office.
Yeah.
ANR was in office. Mr. Manning was in office. Mr. Pandey was in office. Ms. Prasad Bisesa was in office. No, Dr. Rowley was in office. And never before. And when you're in office, you're fair game for a comedian.
But one would think so.
Never before have I come across anything like this. Never.
And it's not to say you're targeting a specific sector of society, degrading them or whatever the case may be. But to get that warning prior, before the job is being offered to you, listen, we want you, but you have to make sure you can't do this. And restricting that comedic expression, how dangerous is that?
That's very dangerous. Mikey K, as comedians, we always say, if we're not offending, we're not doing our job.
That's right.
If a comedian is not offending, he's not doing his job. But in that offense, we have to still make you laugh. You have to laugh at yourself and catch yourself, because we have social coding in our work. That is how we do our commentary, and we expect that people will take it for what it is. And if there's some reflection to happen afterwards, then have your reflection. But not that you want to shut it down and shut it up. And I had a real issue with it. Because in the moment I didn't take it on, I made other arrangements. But when I sit down afterwards, I say, nah, boy, this is dangerous.
Now, this has not happened overnight. I mean, it didn't evolve overnight.
No.
I mean, this culture has been coming along. We've had Calypsonians sing about it, about the fact of Auntie Joan and whatever the case, relying heavily on the state. And do you believe now that the culture is so, I mean, you have to look to see what is going to happen with the culture moving forward, when in fact that all of these expressions are going to be limited to some extent. What's going to happen as far as that freedom? Because we know Carnival, how it started, it came to revolt.
I will not be limited.
Yeah.
Because it's not only the stage I have. I have a television station, my
so true.
There's social media, and there are plenty promoters who don't put us there. But the thing is, if I am not able to regulate myself, then I don't deserve to be there. I have a sense of occasion, as do so many artists. And if I went on stage in Napa already for the season, and I opened with a political joke. The audience laugh, and one man in the back shout out something.
Right.
I did something else along the same line. The same man shout out. That's not good for my performance. I leave it alone. I have other repertoire. I have so many. Right. I went in other places and entertained my audience and earned my money. But it has to be left to me to give the audience what I want, because I want you to call my number again, because I delivered what I was supposed to do. The audience was happy, they laughed, they had a good time, felt good, the Calypsonians who I put on felt good. That's what you hire me for. But if you want to dictate my material, that's a slippery slope.
Are you going to be shocked one day you arrive on the set for a job and they give you a script and say, Errol, these are the jokes we want you to. I mean, would you be surprised seeing how things are going?
Well, I would be shocked, because I don't think I'll reach so far with any promoter for them to feel that they could give me a script to tell me what to do. I mean, if it is an award ceremony, so I need a script, but in terms of what I do, in terms of my comedy, nah, I wouldn't reach it.
And you see young aspiring individuals who are coming up, and they always seem to be frustrated with the fact that they don't get the airplay, they don't get the highlight, they don't get that. I mean, is this added pressure that, listen, you have to toe the line as well? It's not about the freedom of expression or the freedom of your art or your talent, because last night was the Grammys, and I mean, if that was, it doesn't seem to be talent is what's there anymore. It's a night where people dress up goofy and they go and express all their political, ideologies and what have you. So that's lost. Are we heading to that where we're just going to show up now and everything is watered down and filtered? I mean, what?
I pray not, Mikey K. I pray not. And I have to say on behalf of the young comedians I see coming up, because I work with them, I interact with them, I don't think they're going to fall prey to that. In every bunch, there are one or two line tours who are afraid and don't want to affect the mother or the father, Right. But I think all in all, generally, the cadre of young comedians I see coming up in Trinidad and Tobago, I don't have that fear. I really do not have that fear.
Yeah, I mean, one would know a culture of pecan. I mean, that's where it all stems from. I mean, even coming through school, you see a man with braces and say, look at you, your teeth commit a crime behind bars.
Yeah, they're so valuable at a burglar proof.
That's right. I mean, coming through, that's who we are as a people. That is our social DNA. Yeah. And now you're saying, listen, if you don't play ball, if you don't act accordingly, we are going to withhold from you the resources that you need in order to make this thing happen. I mean, that in itself is very dangerous.
Mikey, I have to say thank God that my business model in my business and in my life as a comedian was never set up on getting government spend. When government used to spend on the station, it was great. Government spend is great. Yeah. But since I entered the political arena in 2013, that has disappeared. And I understand that it is a sacrifice and people have a choice. But, Mikey K, it is troubling to know that the people around this administration could be so petrified of them that they resort to things like this.
Yeah, but how
small-minded?
It has to be small-minded.
Little people.
You really and truly, there has to be a lack of social maturity and understanding that Errol Fabien, the entertainer, and Errol Fabien, who is standing up with his political belief, is two different individuals.
Thank you very much.
Two different individuals.
And if I can't make that differentiation, then I don't deserve to get any jobs. Because the state hires me to do work. Different ministries will hire me and so on, and I don't go there and do no bashing or anything like that. I have a sense of occasion. I am there to take this program from this point to that point, or that program from this point to that point. But it's what I do, and if what I am coming to do has to be governed, and I can't be trusted to govern it on my own, then don't call me. Because I'm not the guy for the job.
I agree. You keep up the good work. Just want to let you, the Observer would like to extend condolences to the family of Anil Beam.
Yes.
And Daphne is 77. Daphne, happy birthday. Take care, folks. Errol, you keep doing what you're doing, man. That's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. And the Observer will continue observing, and we're going to act on that.